Hello? Hello, this is us starting stream 100. Can you guys hear us?
I don't think there's a microphone out there as a source, so I don't think they can hear us at all.
Oh, do you need to switch to... Oh, so it seems... Is this
Oh, this one? Hello, this is us starting stream 100. The mic's not. Can you guys hear us? Now you hear? Can you hear better now?
Do you need to switch to... Oh, so it seems... Is this... Oh, good.
Oh, okay. Hello, this is us starting stream 100. Can you guys hear us? Now you hear an echo. Oh, okay. That's coming in. Can you hear better now?
Do you need to switch to... Oh, so it seems... Oh, good.
Okay. Hello, this is us starting stream 100. Okay, now trying again. Is there an echo? See, this is why we started before 6 o'clock. Oh, okay. Better the first time. Can you hear better now? How? Sorry.
Okay.
Trying again. Okay, how's it now? As you will soon see.
Good?
Okay,
Better?
so we're good.
Awesome! Good. Okay, great. There's always an echo in those headphones. Okay, so...
Will you be able to hear...
Well, you'll hear it. Whoever has the headphones will hear it. Okay. I'm gonna turn on the camera now. And then we can figure out, like, where we should be sitting. Okay, guys, hi! So,
Hello.
This is Brad.
Hi, everyone.
This is Brad's first stream appearance.
It is.
So that
Yes.
makes stream 100 super special.
Or not.
Or not.
Yes, the inmates are running the asylum. Tony's on vacation.
Tony's on vacation.
Tom's out
not
of the
here.
office.
Yeah, Tony's in Cabo, I believe. So hopefully he's having a really good time. All right. I think
They are
Brad...
too trusting.
If they're too trusting? Oh, I see. They are too trusting.
Yes.
You know how long it was before they let anyone stream but them?
Really?
Like, clearly,
And,
yeah.
and we may be going back to that tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. Starting tomorrow. They're like, oh my god. Alright, so it is now 6 o'clock. We are officially beginning stream 100. Like,
Stream one.
ting.
We should have brought like noisemakers or something. We have.
You know, we could still toast. We could still toast. We don't have alcohol, but I once toasted on stream with water. I believe. You have
I have
your
lemon Pellegrino.
Doug is here, actually. Doug is in the chat. So I guess it's up to you guys to...
Or maybe it's not really Doug. We're just calling him Doug.
Right. I mean,
No
he
proof.
could be anyone saying that he's Doug, right? So I guess you guys are just going to have to ask him questions that only Doug can answer. And that's how he's going to have to prove that he's Doug.
Patches will
Yeah.
not be here today,
Yeah.
but maybe tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yes.
So tune in tomorrow morning for Patches and Yang.
He'll answer questions.
Oh my god, I want to see that. Like, Patches, how do you feel about pets?
Arf.
Yeah.
And as a programming note, so Yang will be on tomorrow morning, and Stephanie will be back on Thursday, and that will be our last stream from this location. If you haven't seen Desktop Tuesday today, please take a look. We are moving to a new office next week, which is fortunately much larger and actually even has its own, or will have its own, streaming studio, which will be less like a closet and more like a studio, and hopefully much cooler.
Yeah, and one thing, like, literally much cooler.
Yeah.
Like, the AC is
Like-
broken in this room. Like, it must be, like, I don't know, 90 degrees outside, and it's like that in here. It's like we're outside, except with fluorescent light.
Yeah. And machines that are going and throwing off heat.
Yeah, exactly. So thank you guys all for showing up. Thank you for your many congratulations. Couldn't have done it without you. And for tonight's stream, because we couldn't have done it without you, we thought we would do a retrospective and look at some of the awesome things that we have all done together in the history of Stonehearth.
And we're going to start out actually with a clip from, we dug into the archives. It wasn't that hard actually. If you go to the Twitch page, it's there. But it's a clip from the very first Twitch stream. And here's a little bit of Tom trying to get used to streaming.
I'm going to hit the play button.
Although it's not perfect yet. And
There's Tony in the background.
our job here,
This
like
is
even this is a little screwed
Tom's
up.
living
Let's- Okay, I'm gonna be here
Back
forever
when we
if
were
I
in
fix all
Tom's
the
living
errors.
room.
Is to take this
Like, you can see the
rigid
whiteboard
mammoth
in the background.
and animate it.
My desk is to the left.
Can you guys not see my
We're like
mouse?
super high because it's around our Kickstarter.
That's a problem.
This was
Let me
Tom
see if I can
trying to
fix
get
that,
used to
because
streaming.
That's
Yes.
not gonna be good. Anybody know how to show the mouse cursor in XSplit?
So now he's a pro, and we still are messing with the mic.
Yeah, I told you it was my first time. All right, QA session type 2.
Yes, that was his first time.
All right,
Part 2.
pausing this.
Yep.
Sweet.
And we thought we'd actually even dial the Wayback Machine even farther back.
Okay.
And we'll show
Oh my
I think
God.
it's the next tab here.
Here. Okay.
Is it
Clicking.
that one? Is it that one?
First
Or-
look
or-
at Stonehearth.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yep.
All right, Yang is returning.
There's that one,
to
and there's
her-
also the Kickstarter video. Which
to
one
her
do you
desk.
think?
I think they're both pretty cool. I mean,
Let's show the
Yeah.
Kickstarter video first.
all right.
Yeah. So this was the video that we used on our Kickstarter to help get everybody interested.
I totally fell in love with this video. Like, I wasn't working for the company yet when they were making this video, when they were preparing it, and like, he sent it to me, like, top secret, do not forward, like, amazing video, or what do you think of this video? And I really liked it. I still really like it.
I was not working for the company then either, but in fact, I was one of the members of the Kickstarter.
Thank you, Brad. Thank you for making this possible. Oh my god, so see how like having numbers at the beginning of it talked a lot about whether or not you should show that. Like there's still code in every single plus that does that. Cthulhu someday, definitely. Alright, whoops.
That's me.
Castle story.
No.
No, wait.
You can just close that tab.
Closing the tab. It's time to nuke the tab.
Yeah.
And then where did you find this one?
This was also in the
Hi
archive.
guys, this is the first look at Stonehearth, our city management and strategy
It sounds a
game.
bit loud.
I'm
Sorry.
going to show off the building aspects of the game by constructing a small house for you guys. First, we'll need to farm some wood.
So this was pre-alpha. This was before even
Yeah.
Alpha 1 came in. And
This-
it was
And we'll drag
Is-
out a stockpile, instructing our workers
On the
to
YouTube
store
videos?
that
Okay.
wood in an area
Yeah.
that's closer to our build.
We are trying. Thank you.
So let's plan our house.
All right. See, we still don't really
Building
fully understand the
Stonehearth
implications
is
of
basically
all
kind of this floor plan
all
system
of
where
the sound
I
things.
just
But yeah,
drag
this
out
was before
floor
Alpha
plan
1.
of
This
what
was
I wanna
before the
build.
Kickstarter
Let's
video.
go for something
Like
about
this
that
was
size
their
for
first
our
experiments
building
with
just a simple one-room
making the
house
tech work.
so
And I remember seeing this for the first time like in Tom's spare bedroom, and like this whole UI and like all this other stuff, and just thinking it was pretty amazing. Like at this time they had actually already added goblins, and like the goblins wanted to take wood for their own stockpiles, and so like the very first piece of emergent behavior was like goblins stealing wood from
so
people.
here's kind of my plan that I've got. That looks pretty good.
Yeah,
but you can see.
yeah.
I mean, the look obviously has
All right.
changed pretty substantially,
All
and
these
yet
guys
in
build
many
the
ways
house.
it's still very much
Here's
the same.
planning mode.
It is, yeah. And I mean
Like
like
you said, the bright bells are actually
There
still
it is.
pretty much
So-
like that.
the bright bells are in fact still there, yeah. And I feel like, it's really kind of interesting because he was already really worried about the building UI back here when he was making this version of it. And we're still worried about the building UI. And we had lots of people try to use it, for example, when we showed it at PAX, and we still have lots of ideas about how we want to fix it. Chris especially is fervently feels strongly about certain improvements. So, it's good to keep looking at it and remain motivated. So yeah. And look, it's sped up and stuff, and I don't know. It's
fun. It's fun to go back and look.
It is. When we could only make a house of one size, and look, there's only one kind of person too. They're all dudes. Yeah. They're all wearing the green
outfit. This was also before Mayor Burleyhands got promoted. To watching over you.
I think this is maybe this is him from the past. This is how he started out when he was only an apprentice worker.
Yeah.
This is also, I really love this art style. I understand why we have portraits, because it would be pretty much impossible to randomly generate all the faces and then still make these portraits that match them. But, Tom has a lovely art style, whether or not he actually gets to show it off.
And as we were discussing earlier, I mean, I love this art, the overall look and feel of this too, but it feels like the world is much, much smaller than it is now. With the style that we have now, I think it's much more conducive to being able to add new biomes, new kingdoms. This is, a little bit, I don't know, I would call it more cartoony in a way, but it seems as if the world is much tinier.
Yeah.
And now our world is much bigger.
Exactly. Well, because there's no mountains in this world. There's just those mountains, I guess.
Those are small hills.
Small hills. Yeah, and I don't know, I know we keep talking about whether or not, the landscape is going to have that one-step gradation. And I think we really did find a very sweet spot when we made the terrain more like steps, like big steps as opposed to little steps, in part because it's not very interesting to spend a lot of your time flattening ground so that you can build. So, the existing world has more immediate building, but also because I feel like, it hits a certain aesthetic. It's going to be blocky, so let's make it all the way blocky. Oh, these are the very first, this is RPG mode, in its conception, so that you can see inside of houses and stuff. Gosh, there was a really, really bad month, sometime around the time that they were making this, when they were talking about switching from the rendering engine that they had to, a totally different rendering engine. And I remember sitting there listening to Tom talk about it and being like, how can I stop him from doing this? I don't even work for him yet, and how can I... Anyway, good times. Where is Chris? Chris is not here at the moment, but perhaps someday we can get him in.
Yeah, actually, when we move to the new office, as we said, the studio is much larger, and we will try for maybe our housewarming stream from the new office, where we'll have many more people there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, anyways, cool.
Okay.
Do you want to show anything else here? Or?
No, I think we can.
Yeah. We're coming to the end of it anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
We thought it would also be fun while we're looking at. So we've seen the Kickstarter video as well as some of this concept video. Is to take a quick tour through some of the alphas.
Oh, right. Shall we start there?
Do you want to start there?
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So, sheep. We'll come back to the sheep.
Yeah, we'll come back to the sheep.
All right.
Can't do a celebratory stream without the sheep.
Without the sheep, exactly. Oops, sorry. Where was I going? That one, not that one. This one? All right. So we collected a bunch of early alphas, and it was really amazing because I had to teach myself how to play them again. Because of course it made perfect sense at the time, but now I'm used to Stonehearth as it is now, and... Okay, well the first thing we're gonna have to do, apologies in advance. Oh my god, can I even turn down the sound? I think Stonehearth Alpha 1 just has a sound of a fixed size. If I turn down this sound... Yeah, I don't know.
Too soft? Can you hear us?
Can you still hear us? I turned down the sound.
fault is that, Doug? I mean, probably not.
It is totally not. Yeah, it is totally not his fault. Alpha Wind sounds still too loud. We can't hear you? Okay. What if I play and Brad, you type?
Huh?
On the taskbar? Like, if we just do this.
So, there's not a sort of mute in the game.
Not here. Let's see. What is the Windows mixer and where is it? Like,
That's what you were just looking at before.
this one?
Yeah. But I don't see, I mean, there should be more options than just that.
Maybe like this? Oh, Stonehearth. So we'll lower Stonehearth.
Just mute that one. Oh, I guess you can't lower it really. That may have helped.
Okay, let's see.
And then bring the speakers back up.
Let me go here.
Okay, how's that? Is that better?
Like, can you hear us but not hear Stonehearth?
Oh, that's better. Okay, good.
Okay.
Yes.
That's
so,
cool.
So we just discovered that Alpha 1 itself did not have in-game volume controls. So we have found the way to mute the game itself outside of the game.
And it is just in time for Steve to be here so the party can start. Alright, so Alpha 1 had this lovely picture of the Geomancer that Tom colored. And it's kind of funny because like it's been so long and it's going to be a long time before we see her again, but there she is. I love this rabbit jumping off this block. Oh my god. So, oh my god, Alpha 1, look at you. Like, what is this even? I don't even...
No, that didn't work, remember?
That didn't work.
You
Right, yeah, I can't use...
You can't use the WASD. Yeah, you have to use the mouse.
I have to use the mouse. I can't, like, mine in the mountains, and I just better go near the berry bushes. I'm gonna click this and just pray for the best.
Yeah. I told Stephanie today that we need to get a banner and a fire pit for the new office.
Yeah. Alright, that's what our MakerBot is gonna help us with.
But we won't light the fire pit so that we don't make the landlord angry.
Yeah, seriously. Well, you know, he'll never know, right? Maybe he'll never know. So the first thing I went here, and like earlier today, I was trying to figure out how to harvest. I'd forgotten how to harvest. Do any of you guys remember how to harvest in this game? So like this was for placing an item, but there was nothing to place. This was for workshops. So I could put down a carpenter's workshop. And then oh right, the outbox is tied to the workshop. Yeah, that was my original implementation. There goes the carpenter, he's off. And then now I can make other stockpiles. Click on the objects? Yes, indeed. So, alright, there's no batch select. And so you have to click on the object and click gather berries. And there isn't even like a thing that tells you that you've done it. Like, so you don't know. Like, am I successful? There was a thing for the trees though. And I think if I chop down a berry bush, there's a thing for that too. Oh, there goes the berry bush. It'll never come back now. So we probably still want to have that at some point, but like, you know, or moving the berry bushes or replanting them or whatever. Oh, and check it out, the carpenter's saw is on top of his workbench, because the workbench used to be the mechanism by which you promote someone to a job. And we had to change that because of the way that we wanted other classes to work. I think you'll see that in the farmer. So, and like, look, they have their little journal entries coming up here, but later we discovered that this was like super chatty and really hard, so we moved that. This is also the build with no roofs on the houses. In fact, the last time that I tried, in fact, when you press escape, in fact, there's no way to save the game.
And that, boys and girls, is why we don't have weather in the game.
Oh, because there's no roofs.
Because there's no roofs.
Yeah.
No, not really, but...
So I remember you could do wall loop, and you can still do wall loop, but like, you know, it's a little bit more complicated. And I remember you can also press 1, so like, you know, one way of playing the game is with one hand on the keyboard and one hand pressing the 1 all the time. It was like, we had so many arguments about how to, like, whether or not you should have a noun-verb experience or if you should have a verb-noun experience. So yeah. I know, right? This is gonna be that weird stream where you feel both young and old. I totally agree with that statement. Like, I think we talked last stream about, like how time is so relative and stuff. Like, 2013 is just yesterday to me, but it's 2 whole years ago. Like, that's a long time. This is, and here's the simple house with the promised roof that doesn't actually exist. Alright, there's a chance, guys, that when I put this down, the game is gonna crash. Okay? Alright, there's a chance that when they start building it, the game is gonna crash. There's no doors, there's no windows. They're not going to be able to make the roof. It's just going to stay in AI forever. I do miss being able to play the game with just the mouse, though. That was nice.
I don't know. I'm so used to using.
WASD?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can use spacebar.
I find myself when I'm not playing Stonehearth, and if I'm on my other laptop and I'm typing something up, I find myself using WASD to try to move my browser around. So yeah, I'm happy that that's there.
Check out this old art. Well, this is still the same, guys. The craft and maintain one UI. Like, everything has changed, but the craft and maintain one UI is still there. Oh my god, old art. Right, there's no way to make this speed faster. Like, yes, there isn't even a floor. But there is scaffolding. I remember working on this scaffolding. Remember the very first version of the scaffolding was human heads? Like, but
really?
Yeah. Like, well, because I didn't have any graphics for the scaffolding, so Tony was just like, fine, use this model, and it turns out the model was blonde head. So it was just like a pile of heads, and they were standing on the heads to build the house.
That's dark.
It was, right? Except it was also so cheerful. Like, you'd see the heads, like, inside. Anyway. But you guys were already doing amazing things with Alpha 1. You guys were already reskinning the world. I believe, like, the very first version of Candyland was functional in Alpha 1. Materion's, Egypt mod was already functional. I think it was even functional in the graphics test. So, lots of good things. You guys took our really tech demo, not really game, and did amazing things with it. Okay. Shall we move forward?
Yes.
Awesome. So, goodbye, Alpha 1. There's no way to save you. Bloop. Alright. So, moving forward to Alpha 2. We're not going to go through all 10 alphas, don't worry. So, what do you guys remember about Alpha 2? Sorry.
There we go.
Yeah, there's still no graphics. There's still no sound. If there is sound, it might be inside the game. Alright, so what do you guys remember about Alpha 2?
Trapper!
Trapper! The very first version of the Trapper, which is really crazy. And there was also the very first version of Fog of War, and our first new AI scheduler.
Fog, no war.
And Quick Start, for all of those of you who didn't actually want to spend time picking. Look, there's no water, guys. There's no water, oh my god. Anyway.
It's like California.
It's like California. It's so true. When you fly in a plane over California right now, it's just brown.
Yeah.
It's very disturbing. Like, I mean, it's the Golden State, I know this.
Yep.
But, oh my goodness.
But El Nino is coming.
So we'll just get, like, a normal amount of rain, right? Like, and everyone will already freak out. Okay.
No, I think it's going to be an abnormal amount of rain.
The last time we had El Nino, like, it was almost impossible to get anywhere because all the highways, like, had mudslides over them. And, like, everything was flooding. But okay, so the Fog of War is really dark, and then when you place your banner, ta-da! Like, alright, cool, but this is still here. Click stockpile, yeah, go. Got it. Look, there are, like, what?
But it's still no area drag.
But at least, like, now we can verify that you want the berry bushes. But anyway, what was really cool about this version of the game is the Trapper. And remember this? Like, the bunny nests and stuff? These are Albert's bunny nests. Oh, and check out, like, our early version of the inventory. Yeah. Let's see. So how do we get a Trapper? Well, Can't do it that way. Gotta click on the trapper's knife, which is really bad. Like, we realized in advance it was gonna be really bad if there were so many things you couldn't find your trapper's knife. We're gonna make someone a trapper. And I actually am personally a huge fan of the original trapper minigame. Like, I know why we don't have it, and you know, whatever, but like, going back and playing Alpha 2 is really cool. So you have your trapper run around, and I mean, it's really cool if all you want to do is play a trapper. If you want to like build something and like actually manage the rest of your universe, this is actually terrible, as we all know. But right, so you have to move your trapper around, and then like the trapper was supposed to have like a gun basically that shot cages like nets, but we didn't have all that animation, so it's just like a thing, and if it's too far away, it's an X.
Also, really dark.
And really dark.
Dark,
Like,
dark
dark,
is
like-
in dark is in gruesome. I mean, you're building scaffolding out of heads, and now you're shooting cages at little fluffy bunnies.
Yeah, right.
I'm glad you guys have worked out all of this anger.
Well, I mean, like, we still kill the fluffy bunnies. Like you could totally like Vexed. Like, Vexed is the person whose objection, or whose child's objection to the trapper, you know, harvesting bunnies on screen led to just Vexed's, like, store for, oh my god, there's something really terrible about it. The bunny looks at you, right? And then, like...
With big eyes.
With big eyes. Yeah, there's also a version of this build, but I don't have it here on this computer, where this is actually implemented, and then so the trapper can just, like, queue, like, 50 rabbits. Well, okay, 50 would have killed the game, but, like, 20 rabbits. I've got screenshots of, like, rabbits just trailing the trapper, because the rabbits would just, you know, follow their best friend, the trapper, who I guess decided not to kill them, right? And then you have to tell her, okay, go home, and...
Now the rabbits all follow the shepherd.
Right,
So.
yeah. So it's come back.
Yeah.
We've come full circle. The rabbits had it coming. Best anger management. Yeah. Direct control can be fun. I agree. It can be fun. It's just that, look, all these dudes have been idle because we've spent all this time on the trapper. So it was a really good experiment, and we really enjoyed it as a minigame, but in the end we decided it was just not where the game, as the whole game was going. And as you can see, this is the first beginning of the backpack. This thing that would come back and bite us in the rear. In Alpha 10 and Alpha 11, like, made its first appearance here. Alright. That's good for
Yeah.
Alpha 2?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. And let's see. We have Alpha 3 here, too. This is thanks to Relish. Like, you'd think we would have our own versions of our own alphas, but actually, they're a bit
We
hard
do.
to find. Yeah. Like, we have them somewhere.
I'll actually send this one.
Right.
The same thing.
Yeah. Loading! Look, we can save and load now. Oh, and
And
everyone's
keyboard.
hungry. This is just
Keyboard
great.
control.
Keyboard controls. Right, I think the reason that this was special was, like... oh, and look, the UI is now different. So now,
Zones.
in 3, we have the zone thing with the dragging and stuff. And I believe this is the first game, right, you still have to promote this way, this old-fashioned way, but this was the game that actually had the farmer in it. So now, you can designate that you want a farming zone. Ah, it can be arbitrarily big. Oh no, that means bad things for performance.
Yeah.
And means a ton of turnips.
Yeah.
And so that
well,
means...
only 2 choices.
Yeah. So, okay, so she's eating now because in this game, eating is more important than doing work. As it is in real life and other good places when you are hungry. And this is also when we first started to have stone resources. But at some point she's gonna stop eating and she's gonna go over and farm that field. Oh, sorry. Yes.
Do we promote? Oh. Sorry.
Yeah. Our bad. Sorry. Wow, we have options too. Still no sound.
Yep.
So sorry, Doug. Doug, you're so nice. Alright, so she is erratically going and farming because the Pathfinder is just not smart about her at the moment, and so she's just like, really, there's something she wants to say, but she can only communicate it
ADD.
yeah, in Morse code.
He's an ADD farmer.
Right, so So yeah, farming. Eventually she'll actually she'll eventually plant some turnips or something, and then people will actually have food. Crafter's Workbench has gotten better. Now we have pictures instead of just like text. But they're still not the in-game portraits. So that was never going to be sustainable, as much fun as it is. Right, so, well, you know where this is going. Eventually she's gonna manage to plant something, but it's gonna be a long time, and there's no way to fast forward the game yet. So I think we'll probably stop here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have the paint drying saved somewhere.
Yeah. Seriously. Oops. Okay.
5.
A5.
As I told Stephanie earlier, this was actually the first alpha that I played because until A5 we didn't happen to have a PC in the house at home.
Ah, right.
We're generally Macs, so yes, I am eagerly awaiting the Mac release.
So are almost all of my friends.
Yeah.
It's very...
And that's Tony too.
Yeah.
I know Tony is...
Like... And Rodrigo. Like, I have a PC. He has a Mac. Like, you know... Alright, so this is, we're skipping 4, on to 5, which is minimally tested. This one was the Weaver. And more terrain. Okay, so hopefully you can now hear us, and, like, we didn't have to mute the game, just flat out. Alright, so, keyboard shortcuts. Put down the thing, name the thing. Look, this is like yet another version of the new UI. This is when the town thing was in the middle. Sort of like you can see the inheritance. Now we can harvest lots of things, stockpile lots of things. Now the trapper is back, but as a zone. If we had a trapper.
This has the old promotion tree, which isn't a tree, right? It's a...
Oh, that's right, yeah. So if I wanted to promote... Oh, but it has the new worker UI, so now you can go find your thing. So promote my dude, promote my trapper, like... Oh, it's the first one that has footman. Or maybe that was in 4, I'm not sure. But, you know, so good stuff. And this really bad...
you can go double speed, too.
Yeah, that's right. Sweet. Fast forwarding. The town advisory's initial, like, this was our initial attempt to help you, like, figure out, well, hey, look, it's a real game, boys and girls. Okay, so, like, now it's like, hey, do this. We eventually stopped updating this because it was so, difficult to keep up to date, and we figured we will go back and do it. To go back and make another tutorial later.
Yeah.
So it's like, no, harvest more trees.
But it'll make sense to do a full tutorial when we're closer to feature complete.
Exactly. And this has, like, building. Like, the very beginnings. Except this is the old building. I don't know how many of you guys remember this, but the old building, I guess a relatively recent version of, a usable version of a building UI. And, like, you have to raise the walls, and then put in, like, doors. And you don't have a second floor yet, but you could add a roof, and then after you've added the roof, you can change its color. Maybe. Maybe not.
No, I think you had to pick that before.
Yeah, whoops. Well then. So our building UI, it's gone through many iterations. That is for the best. Start building. And then off they go, they're building. Yes, the game is on 2x. So, oh my goodness, they're actually building. Like, so that was exciting. And of course, like, we can do the whole thing where, this is, I think, the new Carpenter Workshop now, where you build a workshop and you don't have to grab a saw from it or anything, because you promote it first. And then we can make the spindle, except we'll need, like, we'll need these guys. So for that, we'll need to make a ladder. Amazingly,
we can make ladders.
This build, you can make ladders, and you can even build them down. I was really worried when I was testing it, like, oh, do we have, like, are they not going to be able to build the ladder down? Like, are they going to be stuck on their plateau? So, good times. So there she goes. I feel like this was a fairly decent build. Like there's releases that I'm really happy with, and then there's releases that are like, whoa, like,
Let's get out of this.
yeah,
one
let's
fast.
get out of this one and keep going. But yeah, so the carpenter's stuck here with the wood because there's no way of saying like, no, I don't want you to do this. You can try canning it, but I think she'll still be stuck when she started. So lots of old bugs, lots of old UI difficulties. Oh right, and there was gonna be goblins at some point. There's no scenario UI yet, so like I presume this means that at some point you'll be attacked by things, but by who and for what reason? It is unclear.
Angry rabbits from the previous alpha.
From the previous, yeah. Another world. Look at it. It's a roof. I remember we also spent a lot of time trying to make sure that people like put in doors and windows. I always maintain one window, yes. This was even like when there's more complex doors.
And windows.
And windows, yeah. That's exciting. Right, the random raiders. Like, you used to be able to sort of like scroll out and see them because they would steal your wood and then burn it. And that was like how you would find their camp, like, where are they? Those little jerks. They're burning our wood. So yeah, this is the tiny trapper trap I put it. No double doors. Right. Well, at least we can save now. Yes, those are in fact the same doors and windows we have now, so... It's kind of funny, because I still think of them as the new doors and windows. So shall we do sheep and then come back, or vary it up?
Yeah,
or?
yeah, let's,
Okay.
yeah. So, we're actually like at halftime, so...
Yeah. So this...
A short shorn interlude.
So there were sheep starting in Alpha 2, and then we were like, the shepherd is never going to be able to handle this. We'll just watch it.
This always cracks me.
Yeah. All right. Well,
yeah.
That's.
Yeah, I think
like...
actually, what we're gonna have to do is do like disco llamas for Araya's children.
Ooh, that's good. Why aren't the flips in the game? The flips aren't in the main game because Repeat Pan actually made them all. Like, those are all his animations, and he wrote the code. He made the speaker, and he wrote the code to have the sheep, like, go to the speaker and dance when night falls and all this other stuff. So he is amazing, and, he'd been making lots of mods for Stonehearth. I think his repository for Stonehearth assets is definitely really cool. He had lots of things to help you if you were modding yourself to make sure that your paths were all correct and all this other stuff. And this is just one of his many mods, but it's a really, really good one. So,
should we go
yes.
to 10.5?
10.5? All right. Zooming forward in time.
And then we'll do some community stuff.
All right. Sorry. Whoop. A 10.5. All right, so 10.5 was our first good build on Steam, I think. So this was super momentous for us. So this, the big deal about 10 was that it had multi-story buildings. So that was something that Tony really worked on forever. And
water.
And water. And water was something Albert worked on forever. It was like magic for me, like personally, to sort of see this in. Like I mean, at this point we'd been working on the game for a year and a half more. For me anyway. And it was like these things that we always knew we wanted, and finally they're here. Oh my god, water! I'm still super excited. And I feel like, you know, we also, like, we skipped a bunch of builds, but, like, 10.5 also has mining, like, it has, you know, slice mode and x-ray mode, like, it
was a big leap forward.
It's huge. It's amazing stuff. And it felt like you guys told us, when we first thought we were going to go to Steam, you guys wisely told us to not go to Steam yet because we weren't ready. And I totally agree with you. Like, looking back, oh my goodness. So, and the new promotion UI. And so I feel like, you know, this was a worthy submission to Steam, especially relative to all the places that, all the places that the game had been previous. So, it was very special.
You can go double speed now, too.
Yeah. So, I mean, how do we know it's 10.5? Well, you can go here, and you can go here, and there's templates! Oh my goodness! Like, my favorite, shared sleeping quarters. But yeah. Oh my goodness. Like... Okay. Got the fancy doors. Windows. I love windows. Oops, those are way too high. Undo? Undo works! You know how long it took for undo to work? Like, it's massive work on Tony's part. It's like, it's one of the best things about working on software. Like, you cannot see a thing without seeing the fingerprints of all of your friends working on it. Like, it's never just going to be Stonehearth, ever, for me. It's going to be Stonehearth with that thing that Albert added, or Stonehearth with, you know, that other thing that Tony did, and these all still, like, they belong to them in some sense. And they'll be with me every time I see it. Alright, so this is one of those houses that's gonna have an outside staircase. I guess we could, like, cut a hole here if we wanted to. That is the way that it works. Okay, so we'll have an inside and an outside staircase. And it could even have a stone roof. Oh my goodness. That's kind of high. But yeah, multi-story buildings, really exciting stuff for us. Okay, and you're like, finished editing, go build it! Yay! They'll go start building it. So, undo has always been one of the most broken things. It is true. And it is probably true of many things, not just our game. Let's see. So there goes the chopper. Here's our multi-story buildings. If we feel super ambitious, we can be like, yes, why don't we mine near the water and see what happens?
That's actually risky, then.
It is totally risky, right? But hey, like...
Actually, my favorite bug, which is a feature right now, is that Hearthlings breathe underwater.
Yeah!
And so I've been using that to advantage. So whenever I get like a big body of water, I've been trying to do Lake Town.
Okay.
And you can
good.
You can put pilings into the water and build on top of that, and they can totally build that without drowning.
Well, so we
Like
thought
here.
about having them drown, right? But we realized that in a game, whoa. But look, it worked, guys. Like, it's true. There's this
There's a
one
hole in the
physical,
water.
like this. Albert, yeah, there's a hole in the water, and look, they can build ladders down, so they can be saved. But yeah, so we thought about drowning. That was one of the first things we thought about adding because of the Sims and swimming pools
But
and stuff.
you were over the dark phase by then.
We're over the dark phase. We also realized that, they pretty much mine and stuff on their own. And so you can't really control where they are or where they're going. And so if they got themselves into a bad position and couldn't get themselves back out and they drowned, like, you would be more mad at them than you would be at yourself. And that was probably not going to work. This is really special. I don't think I've ever seen this. But cool. They all have Zora tunics. Yeah, exactly, right? Maybe they should be in blue. So there, this is alpha 10.5. Yeah.
Okay. So why don't we look at speaking of Steam, we wanted to step over. It's the first tab.
This one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those of you, I know a lot of you, you had, the alphas very early. You got it directly from us through Humble. More of you may have it through Steam now. But in addition to all the content that we have on Stonehearth.net, there's actually quite a lot of content on the community hub for Stonehearth on Steam. And if you haven't seen it, there's a lot of really cool stuff there. So yes, there are discussion boards, but there's a whole lot of fan art that we can see there. Oh,
Yeah.
so let's look at some of the
Oh,
the
gold
fan
medal.
art. So we have Gold Medal does some really terrific fan art. Back when the bunnies were friendly.
They're still friendly.
yeah.
You can still make
Yeah.
them pets.
Also, Pandemic does
Yes.
incredible town renders and scenes, and this is one of his newest ones, which is a village raid, which is great. You're watching the goblins direct the torching of the town, which is quite awesome.
With secret necromancer guy in the
Yeah.
background.
Yeah.
Like, what's up with him? Who knows?
Yeah.
We will find out.
Gold Medal has also done a bunch of different classes that we may never implement, but it's really cool to see them
Yes.
as fan art.
Well, have you seen Relis has actually modeled that in the game?
Oh, really?
Like, she's trying to
Okay.
get it there. Yeah, it's like when you guys work together, like it's even cooler. It makes it feel to us like the game is alive because you guys are there working in it with us. Or Pandemic.
This is Pandemic's temple ruin. He said he found the bunny statue and lamps and said, "What can I do with these?" And so it's sort of this is Stonehearth in the Temple of Doom.
I love how bunnies are like waiting. Like
Yeah.
they're like, what is he gonna do?
Yeah.
And I love how all of this stuff has stories. Like that's the
Yeah.
dude pointing
Yeah.
the town guard to the goblin thief. Like
We actually did a post in the community section on Stonehearth.net about some of Pandemic's renders, and I think actually it may be time to revisit that again.
yes.
Brethren is also somebody who's done some really cool renders on Steam. Take a look at those. He calls this modestly "my little town." I wish I had a town that was this little, because he's got. It's not only sort of like the nicely laid out squares that he's got here and the castle in the background, but look at the stone walls that in the crenellated edges and everything that he's built up here. So
He's using cafe mod too. Look at that. Like that windmill in the background.
oh right, yeah,
That is
yeah.
totally Froggy's
Yep.
windmill.
So take a look in the artwork section on Steam, and you will see a lot of cool stuff. Some terrific fan art, and we will more sheep. We'll look at some more of that in a little bit. Also on Steam, you'll find there are guides. I don't know if you know this. I know we're going to be putting more content on Stonehearth.net, but there's actually guides written by people from the community. There are a few of them there now. We welcome if anybody gets it into their mind that they'd like to create a guide either for the game or for certain aspects of the game. Go for it. It's a great addition to what we're doing. We've had a lot of requests for workshop and enabling workshop, and as you can see right now, our Steam workshop section is empty. and it will remain empty for a little while longer. We think it's a little bit premature for us to enable that on Steam right now, but we are actually in the next few weeks we're going to expand the community section on Stonehearth.net pretty substantially. We're going to start adding in a lot more content about how to mod, as well as making it a collection point for some of the mods that are out there, and we're going to show you some of those. And we're also figuring out how we can implement essentially a blueprint library, where if you've got a building that you've built that you really like and would like to share with the rest of the community, that'll be a place where you can put it into the blueprint repository, and other people will be able to use that building. Also a lot of videos, various kinds of videos. These are some of the most popular. But recently we've seen, I just wanted to call out, Deluxe has been doing a series that he's got going on his YouTube channel, which are pretty cool. He started out actually, his very first episode, he started building out his town, and between his first episode and his second episode, he was using the latest build, the unstable branch on Steam, and we updated, and when we updated, we broke save compatibility, so we had to start over. But as he said, starting over just means we're continuing to update the game constantly, and so that's a good thing.
That's very generous of him.
Yes. So take a look at what's on Steam. There's a lot of really good content there. I mean, we know, yes, we do have Stonehearth.net, and we want that to be sort of the center point for the community, but we also know that not everybody necessarily goes there, that there are a lot of players who are Steam players who only go on Steam. So if you've got good content that you've worked up, maybe you've shared it on Stonehearth.net, but there's a home for it on Steam as well. So we encourage you to get in there and do that. And by the way, if you haven't written a review yet, we welcome your reviews. We actually have a nice, a pretty strong, high positive rating on there, and we'd like to keep that up. And we're going to continue working on the alphas to make sure that that we do maintain that high rating. But if you haven't had a chance to write a review yet, please go ahead and do that. So why don't we go and look at some of the mods?
Yeah.
Since we were speaking of mods.
Switch this back over. So just briefly, canon, yes, canon number 6. Yeah, we're definitely going to release a modding API. But the way that Lua works is that your API is essentially all of your function names. So that means that every time we would change a function name, we would break the API. So it's a very sort of like tenuous kind of way of making an API. And well, anyway, so the function names, the event names, all this other stuff. So yes, we do definitely want to, but we've been holding back because we know that there's still a lot of churn. If we released a public API, not only would we have to like update the game and make sure it works, we would have to make sure that all of your mods still worked, and that's kind of still hard, but we'll keep going. So stay tuned.
So we have a couple of different kinds of mods going on. The first one, are we doing Candyland first?
Yeah, so this is Candyland 1 and 2.
Yeah. So Candyland is a transformative mod. So it remakes your whole world.
Total conversion, I think,
Yep.
is another phrase that people use for it. So this mod is from Relish, and it is up to date with Alpha 11 at the moment. And this one is the chocolate version of Candyland. Oh my god.
So you can see it even starts with your selection of the world map.
Yes. So I really have a soft spot in my heart for Candyland because Candyland has been around since the beginning, and has been updated since the beginning. Some other mods that like are in this kind of bucket are like Avarian's Nihonjin mod, which has also been around since forever, and many other various, like I think Cafe mod has been around for a long time too. But yeah, so this is the chocolate version of Candyland. She's replaced the berry bushes with ice cream, and so when people harvest them, they get a box of chocolates. And the trees have become like these strawberries.
Chocolate
and
dipped
flans.
strawberries. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god. And just I feel like the pros and cons of playing Candyland. Like whenever I'm playing it, like my mouth is just watering. Like it's like that's probably not good, but I mean it's great. Like chocolate flowers. Yeah.
But go mining.
Go mining. Oh right. Yeah. Okay. Oops. Let's. I'll have them mine. Speed it up. So Candyland is actually one of the mods that Tom took with him when he was showing off Stonehearth to various people in the lead up to the Steam release. And, you know, it is just, it's been amazing as a way for us to enjoy, like, what you guys have been doing with the game. And it never ceases to make people really impressed with what you guys, what you, our community, like, thinks to do with the game.
Right. It's, you know,
yeah.
it's not really certainly not a hermetically sealed game that we've created for you to play. It's really an unhermetically sealed environment for you to play with, and you know, to get into it. And you know, sure, you can play things that other people have created, and you know, we're going to make it easier for you to create your own things, either a total conversion like this, or just to add some simple content in.
Yeah. All right. So when you mine, oops, he's carrying it now. When you mine, instead of getting stuff, please put it down. You get hunks of chocolate. Like, I mean, like, I totally would fantasize about this. Like, oh my god, I'm mining and I'm getting chocolates. So there's actually two flavors. Haha. There's two flavors of Candyland. There's Candyland chocolate and there's Candyland sweet tooth. Because why not?
Because you can't get enough Candyland.
Because you can't get enough Candyland, yeah. It's so true. So Candyland Sweet Tooth is a much more sugary version.
Yeah.
It like, this always reminds me of like the Sugarland in Wreck-It Ralph. Like the one that's all made of candies. Yeah, where Vanellope von Schweetz lives.
Yeah, and you can right now you can find links to these if you search in the mods section on Discourse. You can find them. And again, we'll be sort of pulling pointers to a lot of these together in the new content section on the community area of Stonehearth.net.
So now it's like cupcakes, and like, and she left it. Candy does grow on trees, except like now it's literally true. And one of the things that I'm slightly, like, unfortunately I don't actually know how to find inside Candyland. I don't know how to find her jellies. Like, so if any of you know how to find Relis's jellies, like, I would be really interested in actually seeing them in the game, if they are in the game. And if they're not in the game yet, that's fine. But you know, I was looking for them earlier, and I still feel like the animals in the area are still like foxes and raccoons and stuff. I haven't actually seen the jellies moving around. Yes, Sugar Rush. Thank you. Right, how could I forget it? It has that terribly sticky song. So I do have a picture of her jellies here so that you can see them in action. She implemented the like threat mechanic or whatever, so they actually run away from people, as they ought to, because, you know, people are the natural consumers of jellies. Like, animals don't eat. Yeah, exactly. We are their natural predator. So so they're adorable. Oh my god. Like, they look around, they wiggle.
We're at the top of their food chain.
So
that is awesome.
Yeah.
What happens if you mine?
What happens if you mine? Let's see. How sweet it is. Yeah, I know. And I should also probably mention that Candyland, she did inherit it. She was working on it with somebody else at the beginning. And I did think it was a great idea from the start. I think of it as kind of hers now because she's been updating it so regularly. But yes. It might just be... It could be anything. Is it cake? It's a fragment of candy.
Okay.
A hard and heavy material. It's true. Sugar, oh my god, and they're just sugar cubes.
What does the grizzled traveler bring you?
The Grizzled Traveler brings
Toppings.
toppings, profiteroles,
and rabbit jerky.
Of course. Oh my god. All right.
Okay.
Hey, Michael Handy. It is good to see you. It is really wonderful that you're here. In fact. But yes, that's Candyland. Shall we
go to? Let's go to the cafe mod.
Cafe mod.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is another kind of mod. So that was a
total conversion.
Total conversion. This one was done by Froggy,
yes.
and I think most of you probably are familiar with it. It's the cafe mod, which functions as sort of an adjunct to the cook class and allows you to go beyond the recipes and actually extends into you can plant more things. There are more recipes to create things, and there are more items in the world, all surrounding the cook. And so those of you who are, wanting to feed your hearthlings better, you might want to take a look at this pod.
So we did load a save because it takes a little bit of a while to create a cook, and we didn't want you to have to wait. But so all of you who are like really into potatoes, like I know there's a potato petition or something. Well, like so he does have potatoes.
Yep.
They're already here. So you can use potatoes, and then he added like all these recipes to the cook. In fact, he might have had a cook class before we had a cook class, and he graciously like rolled his cook class into our cook class. So grits, the most adorable pies ever, meat pies, cheeses, meat and potato pies. Yeah. Roast critter, which I thought was really lovely because it's true, you kind of don't know what the critter is anymore, right, at this point. And one of the amazing things here too is the apiary, you can, so berry juice, but yeah, like the fact that he added honey to the game. So
well, he added bees to the
game. He added bees to the game. Yeah. So there is some way. I'm ashamed to say I'm not entirely sure how you find the bees. I've seen like the picture of the dude with the bee marks all over him, but yeah. So there's a way to get bees, and then from the bees you harvest honey. And I know that this was totally a lot of work for him, and we're really impressed with how it turned out. The other thing, and I don't have a structure to show this off, but like he actually studied how to use quaternions to do the rotations. So like when you add his windmill, like it animates. And also here's the apiary, I guess. So
yeah, but to make the apiary, you need a
sedated
queen bee, and we don't know how to find her
yet. To be fair, we've only been playing this for a very short period of time, but yeah. So this is definitely, like, I think what he's done, he's really like stretched, like the modding, what we have for you for modding to its nth degree, and we're really proud of him, and it makes us just really happy to know it's out there and that you guys are using it.
Right. So we have total conversions. We have essentially augmentation that's there with new items, new classes, new ways to go about things, and then actually what we don't have right now, but I know Stephanie's been working on, is a way for people to build their... Oh, did you find a...
Yeah,
okay.
Well, he's here. Hey, Froggy,
okay.
and Avarian.
Hey,
yeah,
Froggy.
So it turns out that you have to wait for a certain net worth, and we're not there yet. But
okay.
Here's the dude. Like,
But yeah, so this is the other component, which is adding additional storylines or modules in there. So similar to the wolves that we have in the game now, or the goblin chieftain campaign, you're going to be able to write your own campaigns and create stories for other people to play.
I agree. This tree looks super ominous. Like, I don't know.
Is it the glowing red line around it?
Yeah, well, it's clearly hostile to us, right? Like, what does that even mean? Can I harvest it? If I harvest it? What'll happen if I harvest it? Oh my god. The suspense! Yes, Michael Handy, it is good that you're here. Why is it good? You will find out
Here
shortly.
he comes. Are hearthlings allergic?
There it is. A large beehive. Handle with care. Yeah. Wait. Kick it? Go on, give it a... Oh, jeez. Am I supposed to get something? Am I supposed?
So click on the.
Ah, the buzzing gets louder. Falling from the tree appears to have stunned them. Could you imagine the consequences if they weren't? What could possibly go wrong? I love how you say that all the time. Like, cause I know I say it all the time too. Like, what could possibly go wrong?
So this is another one that you can find if you search for Cafe Mod on in the mod section on Discourse.
Wait for give smash. Oh no, I'm so sorry. I think I might have done the dialogue, and then the dialogue was supposed to wait for give smash, but now it's smashed. So yes, but I really appreciate how Froggy ventured into our encounter API. This is the encounter debug screen. Yeah, I kicked them too early. Sorry. So yeah, so probably they got smashed. Probably you get the queen bee from there, and then you can use the queen bee to make an apiary. I borked it. It's true. It's true. And we also need to make it so that it's harder just to bork. It's easier to write. Yeah. Okay. So you guys are just going to have to play Froggy's awesome mod yourselves and get the apiaries.
So encounters and items and classes in there, and then the last type of mod that we want to show you, and actually I need to go into
Steam, right?
So
and then yank the sound down first, I think.
where's it?
Somewhere in there.
Oops. Did I quit?
I think it's
Where'd it go?
gone. That's weird. You can click here to dismiss this. Like anywhere.
Something this one.
Yeah. I wouldn't know because it's in German.
Which one is it? So, this was not done by us. This was done by you all.
By Wise, in particular.
By Wise, yeah. Very dedicated team of German players. And we've actually added better internationalization support into Alpha 12. So, in this case, localized to German.
It's a good thing I'm so familiar with this UI. I really respect how you guys know so many languages. Like, wow. Anyway.
So, not only German is probably the most advanced internationalization effort right now, but the capability exists in there to localize into just about any language. So we know, I think there are. There's a Turkish effort. I think there's an Italian one.
I've seen Spanish.
A Spanish one.
Morellis.
Yep.
And I think Wise too made a tool to sort of help him and help all of you guys who want to do this make it easier. So that is much appreciated. And I think it also helps us because German is a language with really long words, and so it helps us figure out where our UI is falling down and not capable of handling those longer things. So.
But yeah, so you can see this is just the game as it is, and actually, for the most part, unless they indicate otherwise, a lot of the other mods will work in concert with this. So, for example, the Cafe mod does work in concert with the German localization.
Yes, and Yang pointed out, it was TKH's tool, I think, right, to make it easier for people to figure out how to localize.
So thank you very much to Visa and his team,
Yeah.
Who have contributed to getting us localized, and they do this every alpha. And you can see we even get, well, actually...
Well, those are our errors.
Yeah. All of the errors are in English.
They're playing Rising Thunder, if you
Yeah.
can hear them.
Yeah.
That's just... That would be the other team
Yeah.
with the other game. But yes. Okay.
Okay.
So
yeah, we can quit after that.
all right. And then Michael Handy keeps asking why it's so cool that he should be here.
Because we haven't seen you for a while.
We haven't seen you in a while, yeah.
So you got a couple of screens that you pulled up, right?
Oh yeah. So I mean, you guys, like most of you here who are on the discourse, you know, like I am always a huge fan of seeing all of your stuff, and I just thought I would show off some of the things that I really, really like that you've done that just sort of stand out to me. This one is Aqueducts, and the build is by Flitty, and I mean, like, this was after water started working. Like, he built this thing so that water would like flow from, like, you know, the mountains through the aqueducts and into, like, it's really pretty, it's really amazing, like, and you know, it's just gorgeous. So that was one thing we really enjoyed. I have many builds from Michael Handy in my favorites folder. Like, I keep a folder full of the stuff that you've made because it's so inspiring to me. This is his Ravenloft Keep.
Which is gorgeous.
Yeah. And it's really special to me too. Like, I play Ravenloft every Halloween. Like, it's one of the things that I do to celebrate Halloween. So here it is. Like, this is probably not. I don't know if you thought of it as like the Ravenloft, like Strahd's home, but it's beautiful. I feel like you really inspire us. Like, what is it that is possible to do with the things that we shipped?
When we see something like this, I remember when this first came up and we started saying,
yeah,
how did he do that?
Like,
how did he do that tower?
oh, that was you? That was you, Doug. I'm glad you won.
Yeah.
Don't you always win? Like, Doug is an amazing fighting game player. Welcome to Barovia, right? Exactly. You know, we need to do the cards and find out what Strahd's up to this time, right? And Kythandra. Like, I think Spring Castle is hands down one of my favorite builds ever. Like, because I didn't, like, you know, Stonehearth is optimized to look really good for medieval towns, right? And it just completely blew my mind that you could make this gorgeous, like, Japanese style build with what we had shipped.
Yeah, we're gonna do another sort of, you know, community spotlight stream in a few weeks, and one of the things we wanted to do, and we actually just didn't have enough time to pull it together for today, is actually get the saved games from some of these really spectacular builds. And you know, if we need to go back, as you know, we have a whole library of old alphas, so if we need to open it up in an old alpha, we can do that, but we thought it would be fun to be able to actually go into some of these really spectacular creations live and walk around in them and actually try to see how they made that.
Exactly. Like, this is fantastic. Like, I can't believe that you actually got interior walls, because there's no interior walls in our game. And we finally figured out that you were using the terrain, the slice tool, to make that work, and it was just, like, I mean, it is my favorite part of my job, to come in and, like, see what you guys have built. It just really keeps us going, because, you know, like we're working on the game and it's like the best job ever, but like sometimes we get kind of tired of our own stuff, and like, because of what you do, like that's what keeps us going every day. So yeah, so room by room, like, you know, this is a fantastic, amazing build, and like, I love how detailed it is. I love how there's all these buildings. Like, it feels like it would be a functional castle, like, with ways of connecting and all this stuff. And yeah.
Really want to have, you know, where we can have 100 Hearthlings, so you can see the sort of the life of the castle.
See them, like, running around, right?
Okay.
Yes.
Well, we just have a couple things to go.
So.
Oh, oh, that's right. You wanted to.
So. Yeah. This is Eye of Sauron.
Yeah.
Which one of you guys recommended also. Like, it's so funny, when we were we were just sitting there at PAX, and Chris was trying to reproduce your Eye of Sauron, because, like, he just, you know, like that was what he was doing. Like, he was just, I want to build this really tall tower and, like, make it look like that. So, yes, very inspiring. He wanted to have a big old light source so that it could be a big old searchlight. Yeah, I know, right? Clearly Tony is not checking his PMs. There's also this lovely Tudor castle in demand. And we have also, like, oh right, so this is from inside Ravenloft. This goes back, this is again Michael Handy. So I guess this is a slightly different version of Ravenloft.
But no less spectacular.
Yeah, I love, like I never really thought about making, like indoor outdoor stations for like the blacksmith until you guys did it. Like I really wish, like this totally sells me on the idea that one day we should have Oculus support. Cause like I just want to walk around inside these builds. So switching over a bit, this is Atrelane, and Atrelane's been making amazing things for us since the beginning. Like I think the very first castle that we really noticed ever, like, was from him, and he just like does so many really cool things with his builds. And I'm sorry we still don't have 2-story windows for you. That would be really nice. We know that you can kind of make them with the, like, you know, free building tool, so, but I mean, like, look what, oh my goodness, like, I don't even, it looks so exotic. Like, there's the footprint of a foreign culture in here, and I think that that's amazing. Also, I really appreciate how you guys have, it's in the same thread, like, is it just at the top? Yeah, I really appreciate how you guys have borne with the massive amounts of instabilities. Like, I know that in order to build this stuff, like, so beautiful. Like, I know that in order to build this stuff, you suffer amazing amounts of, like, errors, and, like, you're just saving and loading, and, like, I hats off. We are very, very grateful. Like, oh my god, this is just so beautiful. Like, just the way that the water flows, and man, we're gonna need to have infinite sources eventually so that these lakes and rivers and stuff don't dry up on you. But yeah, the Diadem Depot. South District. So yeah, it's gorgeous stuff. At the top? Oh right, here's the, like, original castle, Diadem Castle. There we go. And I was really impressed with how you made interiors, and like how it looked at night, and like, yeah, we were just over the moon about this, and everything you did, everything you added to it, we were just like, oh my god, what's he gonna do next? And like, will it stand up? And you know, it's just fantastic. And I remember this one too, this, like, the tower on the middle of the rocks, and yeah, like, your interiors are just jaw-dropping to me. Like, we clearly do not spend nearly enough time thinking about interiors. So yeah, so I had this one open also. So thank you guys, thank you so much, and thank you Atrelane for being such an amazing builder, and for being a really good moderator.
So yeah, I mean, it just, this stream really was to sort of take a look back at where we've been, but also to celebrate you and what you guys have created, and we hope that you will continue to create, and we will do our best to keep giving you better and better tools to work with.
Exactly. And here, I guess, while we're gushing, this is Michael Handy's All My Creations and More to Come. I'll paste this in here so you guys can just get to it. But man, I'm so happy you have this thread so that, like, we can come here and just ogle all of your stuff. Like, I think this is the first time we ever saw someone, like, make a bridge-like structure, and, like, we spent a long, like, it's just, you really break the boundaries of what is a door and what is a window, and, you know, like, I feel like you should be making Lego sets or something, like, this is, like, the stuff, like, you know, I didn't even know it was possible to make something like this with the stuff that we ship. Of course, the giant stone dude, like, and just, it's, you know, your sense of light and what you're doing with the light, and the way that you use, like, lighter blocks to highlight and stuff, like, it's just amazing. And then you did the ship before we had water, like, I just, you know, like, I wish you could be here.
It's dry dock. It's dry dock. Not before we had water. It's dry dock.
I wish you could be here in the office with us, like, when we go, like, oh my god! And then, like, everyone just, like, crowds over onto some person's computer, and then we all just stare at it, and we're like, how did he, and then how did he do the other thing? Oh my god, who knew that? You know, it's really lovely. So, if we can all share with you in this little way, like, how amazingly impressed we are, how we still are. Like, you know, this is from months and months and months ago, March 25, and, you know, we're still super excited about it. How you build off the edge of the world? Oh my goodness. Right, the super long bridge. Right, and then...
With water.
With water, like, and the Globe Theater, like the actual Globe Theater. Castles in the sky, building on trees. This is our Geomancer all the way from the beginning. And of course, like, back to Castle Ravenloft. Back to Strahd von Zarovich. and the town. I presume this is Ravenloft Town, right? This is Barovia, right? It just the kinds of things you do, like like we know that our building engine defies gravity in the best kind of way. Like I feel like I should have probably found a screenshot of when you guys were building ladders, or you guys were building bridges across the landscape with ladders that came down from them and like houses that floated. That was really good too. So all really good stuff. Thank you.
Okay. Well, was that all the?
I think that was all this stuff.
Yep. So we have one last thing we'd like to show you. I think we promised in the teaser, maybe a little bit of a sneak preview, and
back to you.
Yep. So I'm sure everyone knows that it's October, and October means that it's time for Candledark. Last year was our very first Candledark. And of course, we wanted to bring it back this year, but we also wanted to bring it back in a way that was not just appropriate for the game, but actually appropriate for what we want to see from you as our community and the way that you've supported us. So we asked Froggy if he would help us out to go to Candledark The Next Generation, and we're going to give you a little bit of a preview of what is going to be coming, and you can expect it to be available probably the middle of next week. So you can see we have over here, and we'll have a close-up of this. There are little skeleton pinatas.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Little skeleton pinatas. There are custom graveyards. There's a scarecrow in here. Let's look at some of the close-ups. So here's the graveyard by day, and these are our walls, but these are it's a custom graveyard you'll be able to put in. And the graveyard by night, with nice little pumpkin lanterns there, and
Pumpkin wards.
Pumpkin wards, yes, because as last year, when you put down these wards, one of the things that happens is that the undead will come at night. And we're working on making them come even more frequently than you may be used to, so you'll be wanting to have some of these pumpkin wards. And here's a little dark, but here's the scarecrow
It's dark 'cause it's
amongst your
dark.
yeah, well, it's nighttime. And here are some of the lanterns you'll be able to have crafted, the pumpkin ward lanterns as well as ghost wards. And finally, the skeleton pinata, which you will be able to beat, and the pinata gives out baskets of candy. So a little bit of fun to go with your Candledark. So we're building on top of last year's Candledark mod, and there's some new surprises and things to play with within it. And as I said, we should have that, Froggy's into the home stretch on it, so we're looking to have that in your hands probably by the middle of next week, so that we can all celebrate Candledark as we should.
Exactly.
So that is it for Stream 100.
Yeah, thank you guys all for coming, and for being here this whole time, and for being here with us for Stream 100.
We will see you at Stream 101
tomorrow morning.
With Yang and Patches.
Exactly.
8:30 a.m. Pacific. And Stephanie will be back on Thursday evening at 6 p.m. Pacific. And then, as we said before, brief hiatus early next week. There will be no Tuesday stream as we get things tidied up from our imminent move. And we will be in our much more spacious and cooler, in all senses of the word, offices, including our new streaming studio, in time, hopefully, for Tony's stream next Wednesday.
Exactly.
So thanks for being here with us. It's been a fun first stream for me.
Yes, thank you so much for streaming, Brad.
Yep. And we'll be back.
Yes. See you guys all tomorrow and Thursday.
Yep.
All right.
Bye.
Good night. And as usual, if you have any other questions, you can always find us on Discourse. and send us whatever questions you've got, and we'll try to make sure that it's easy and sensible for you to get Candledark and all this other good stuff. Okay, good night.